Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side.
Day we hustle, but the night we
Know that they ride or die.
Hey, what's up, you guys? What's going on? First of all, I have to apologize. I did a story, giving my views about Kyle Rittenhouse, and somebody came and gave me some legal advice, but after I took the video down because I felt like I didn't want to get sued, I spoke to another lawyer that deals with the trials and things that Kyle Rittenhouse was dealing with, and they told me that I had every right to express my opinion, and I continued to let them listen to the live, and they said that I kept saying that he was innocent, and I kept using the word innocent, and the lawyers and the district attorney went on to say that the person that gave me that information probably was a fan of Mr. Rittenhouse, and they wanted me to take that information down. So let me continue. So I was thinking, and I was like, wow, I did another story, and the other story was saying that Kyle was going to sue because people were calling him a murderer even if he was acquitted. But if you guys can remember, O.J. Simpson was acquitted. What's that guy named? The one that killed Trayvon Martin? I forgot his name, but he was acquitted. And there have been a few other people in history that have been acquitted, and people continued on to call those various people murderers, even though they were acquitted. But people still have a feeling. They still feel like you got away with the crime that was committed, okay? So when I was reading that article, the one thing that was highlighted, you can go back in my video, the one thing that was highlighted and struck me is that due to this trial, Mr. Rittenhouse has a enormous legal fee that he needs to pay. And he also stated, well, the article stated that the reason that he was suing is because he had enormous legal fees, and plus that people are ruining his life. Well, nobody can ruin your life if you've been acquitted. I don't care if someone in the bushes come out and call this man a murderer. When you look at the court documentation, because this story was nationwide, when you look at this story and you see the verdict and you see the outcome, you have been cleared of all charges. So if somebody still wants to call you the murderer word, people have a right to say what they want. But the trial defined that you were innocent. So I don't see what this big thing is where you want to sue. So you were hit with legal fees. So any legal fees that you accrued during the time of your trial, you should be responsible for it, because had not, you made that decision to go out, whether it's to protect or whatever people's thoughts are, if you had not gone, then none of this situation would have taken place. Then you wouldn't have been on trial, and you would not have had these fees that are piling up on you. Now, I kept thinking, just like O.J. Simpson, is the families going to sue? Do they have a right to sue? And when I looked it up, yes, indeed, they are now suing Kyle Rittenhouse for taking the lives of their loved ones. So not only is he dealing with court fees, now he's dealing with getting ready to be sued by the families for taking their lives. Just because you've been acquitted does not mean that you cannot be sued for the criminal act. So the family is now coming together to sue Kyle Rittenhouse, and I'm glad that I found this. So he's stating that anybody, look, I'm not saying that he is, because I don't know him personally, because now they're saying that he's going after politicians and people like that. But the thing that struck me now lately is they said that he was a white supremacist. I don't know about that. But I want to know, why is he focusing more on LeBron James and Whoopi Goldberg? Those are your two most highlighted people as I continue to read the articles. So now it's like they're pushing LeBron James and Whoopi Goldberg in the forefront. So if you do have a problem with black people, I would have basically kept that to myself. I would have been like, I'm suing sports, news, whatever that defame my character, but I don't see why he should be granted the right to sue anybody for calling him a name that he's been cleared of. So I don't understand. It's almost like he's whining about the situation. I'm cleared now. I'm going to throw tantrums. I'm going to get a legal team together, and I'm going to go after everybody that's calling me out of my name. People are going to call you what they want to call you. They have a right to say what they want to say, even if you don't feel like it's true. They cannot ruin your life. You know, they can't ruin your life. Baby boy, when you went out there with that gun for whatever reason, I don't know you. I'm not in your head. I'm not in your thoughts. I know nothing about you except for what the news posted. If you had not gone out there with that gun in the first place, then none of this stuff here that you're going through, none of this would have taken place. Absolutely none of it. You would not be in a position where you feel like somebody is ruining your name, your character, and causing you to have a hard life. When you took your weapon, and you had a right to bear arms, you did, but when you took that weapon during a high stress moment, you made a decision and you didn't see the outcome. You didn't know what the outcome was going to be. You had no clue that your actions were going to land you in the position that you're in now. And I do believe if you had, no, this is just my opinion, I do believe if you had a chance to do it all over again, I really believe you would not have gone out there. If you would have seen yourself in the future sense, you probably would have been like, you know what, I'm not going to do that because this may not end up well. So me personally, I want to read this. It says Kyle Rittenhouse legal troubles may be far from over despite acquittal, former assistant U.S. attorney warns. Yes, they're far from over. Just like I said with O.J. Simpson, when he was acquitted for murdering Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson, he still had to pay. And those bills never go away. You cannot file bankruptcy or anything. You absolutely have to pay that amount of money. So, Kenosha, Wisconsin, November the 19th, Kyle Rittenhouse entered the courtroom to hear the verdict in his trial prior to being found not guilty on all counts at the Kenosha County Courthouse on November the 19th, 2021 in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Rittenhouse was found not guilty of all charges in the shooting of 3 demonstrators, killing 2 of them during a night of unrest that erupted in Kenosha after a police officer shot Jacob Blake 7 times in the back while being arrested in August of 2020. Rittenhouse from Antioch, Illinois, claimed self-defense, who at the time of the shooting was arrested with an assault rifle. And this is a photograph. So I don't know what he was doing in Wisconsin. If he lived in Illinois, is none of my business. I don't know. But, you know, baby boy, your lawsuits is far from over. And I don't know if anybody is going to grant you that money, saying that people have ruined people's life, because if they look back, they'll say, okay, O.J. Simpson was acquitted. The guy that killed Trayvon Martin was acquitted. Police officers were acquitted, and people are still calling other individuals murderers even after they were acquitted. But you don't see them trying to get a lawsuit. I kind of, in my opinion, you know, my feeling is that I think he might be trying to sue people so that he can pay off these lawsuits. And I don't think that it's right that he should be granted that, because if I did something like that and I put myself in that position, then why is it somebody else's responsibility to pay the fees and fines of what my actions were? I'm just asking the question, and I don't think that he can come after me for speaking my opinion on this. So it says former U.S. Assistant Attorney Neema Ramani says there is no question that Kyle Rittenhouse will face civil lawsuits from the families of the people he killed within a matter of months or even weeks. A jury acquitted Rittenhouse on Friday of all charges related to the killing of Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber. Rittenhouse testified at his criminal trial that he killed Rosenbaum and Huber in self-defense during the Kenosha riots in 2020. Look, let me tell you something that I know for a fact. If somebody saw somebody running down the street, and you can see it yourself, if somebody saw a policeman in distress or somebody coming after another person and a person has a weapon, and you see it on the news all the time, right? So if a person see another person coming after someone with a weapon, they're going to all start running to probably disarm the individual, to keep them from attacking people. You see it all the time. Recently when that man hit that little kid and tried to take off, what happened? They tackled him. So what if they would have tackled him and he would have took a knife and stuck each one of those people, that tackled him, because he decided to do something that he should not have done. And I know it doesn't make sense right now, but I'm saying, how would they feel, if he did that? I got, what, forget it. I'm just going to go ahead and read the story, because some people are like, that don't make sense. He hit a kid. I'm going to leave it alone. Anyway, Rahmani likened Rittenhouse legal situation to that of O.J. Simpson, who was found civilly liable for the deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman, in order to pay $33.5 million in damages despite being acquitted in an earlier criminal trial for their deaths. See, that's why I'm saying he's going to get sued. His troubles are not over. And any judge that sees this, I really feel like somebody's going to look at this and say, you know what? You were acquitted, right? So now you have to pay. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to sue people for talking about you so you can get the money to pay for all your legal fees that you've accrued. And I hope that they say no, because I don't think it's fair. You don't see people that's in jail right now. Oh, he got locked up for 33 years. Pay all my fees because y'all kept calling me a criminal. Nobody's doing that. That's been locked up. And I'm not saying anything mean about him, but I'm just saying I don't think it's fair that he should sue, especially, just because people talked about Jesus, people talked about LeBron James, people talked about Whoopi Goldberg, people said heinous things about a lot of people, and then somebody said, oh, the Cardi B situation is far different from what Kyle Rittenhouse went through. That's far different. Tasha K and Cardi B did not kill people. They didn't have anything to do with killings. They didn't go out in the street and carry a gun. They didn't do any of that. So that's totally bogus, and that's totally different. And as far as Cardi B and what's her name? Tasha K, that's a story of its own. People always want to say, what about Tasha K? What about this? Well, if you know anything, and if you were a part of Tasha K's panel, you would have been there. Tasha K asked Cardi B to do a live interview with her, and Cardi B declined to do it. So after Cardi B said no, Tasha K went on for years and years, and I mean every single chance she can turn that camera on, she was cutting Cardi B down like a dog and saying things against her child, against her marriage, against her, saying that she has sexually transmitted diseases and all these different things. So that's different. That's like that's bullying and harassment. That's totally different from, killings. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear it. And me personally, I don't care what happened. I wasn't there. I just know, to me it wasn't fair that if somebody said they didn't want to interview with you, that you went off and you started going on this barrage and berating them and doing all that. I don't think it's fair. But 3.8 million, I think that is way, way, way too much money. And I kind of wish Tasha K would have settled when Cardi B asked her to, because that way it wouldn't be all these enormous court fees and things of that nature. And everybody is saying, ha, 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 Tasha K. I don't think it's funny. I think it's really sad, especially if Tasha K is not understanding that she is the problem in her own world. You get what I'm saying? So I don't laugh at people, and the Bible tells you not to laugh at somebody else's downfall. So I'm not going to laugh. I'm not going to celebrate. I'm not on Tasha K's side, and I'm not on Cardi B's side, because Cardi B is a good performer, and I believe she's a wonderful mother, an excellent wife, a good friend, all those things. But Cardi B has said some things in the past that was very, very hurtful and very, very harmful to the African American women. You know what I'm saying? And people overlook those things, but she continues to say things, and she continues to, cuss people out and all these different things, and people think it's just entertainment. It's not. She needs to be accountable for her words as well. If you're going to sit here and say things, you need to be accountable as well. So back to this young man. Oh, excuse me, you guys. It's real early. Let me see. It says, the $33 million. And they say Rittenhouse may be happy right now, but he still may be sued by the victim's family, and he may lose that civil case. Ramani said he's going to lose it definitely, because when they start digging deeper into it, they're going to go deep, 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 and they're going to start talking about other things in his case. And you know what? Some things that they acquitted him for may come out and may bite him right in the butt. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a lot of speculation, a lot of hearsay that Kyle Rittenhouse crossed the state line. There was a lot of hearsay that Kyle Rittenhouse didn't like black people. There's a lot of hearsay saying that, a lot of stuff. And I don't know him to agree with any of it. If I knew him, then I can attest to it, but I don't. And reading and hearing things about people, you don't know them, so you really shouldn't say, oh yeah, that's true. You don't know that person. I don't know him. I'm just going by what I'm looking at and what I'm reading. To me, and I don't mean any disrespect, but it seems like he's just a big crybaby to me now that he has these fees and he wants to find a way to pay these fees. I don't know. I'm just saying I might be wrong, and if I'm wrong, so be it. I apologize. I'm just saying, like, who does that? Who turns around and want to sue people for talking about them? People say stuff every single day, and you have people that have been lied on that said, like the one person told me, oh, you have a man that's married, and a person spreading rumors around the office saying that he's, not a good father, he's this, he's that, he's the third. Okay, that man may end up telling his boss what's going on in the office by way of this person, and the justice that he may get is that person may get fired. Okay, so he got his justice, but if it didn't cause him any serious harm, and I don't see that people calling him a murderer is a serious, serious harm, because he has indeed been acquitted. And no matter what we say out of our mouths, the court paper speaks, and you cannot retry him. The court paper speaks. The court ruled he's not guilty. So whether they run around here and keep calling you that day in and day out, the court already spoke for you. They already got your back on that. So there's no need for you to sue. What real reason is there for you to sue? And like I said in my other story I read, one of the things that was highlighted was that he wanted to sue to pay his hefty legal fees. No, you pay that. Because if you hadn't gone out the house, you wouldn't have any legal fees, sweetie. So let me read this, and he can't come after me because I didn't defame his name. I'm just saying, you can't come after somebody and because they're telling you, what they feel. What if you didn't do anything at all whatsoever. And every time you turned around, you know, somebody kept saying that you was a murderer and you were never in court for this type of trial, and a person kept saying you were a murderer, then I can see you suing them, because guess what? Now they're ruining your reputation. Any business in the world that wants to hire you for a future job, when they look and say, do you have a criminal case? Yes, I do. What happened? I was acquitted. And they see that I was acquitted, they can't discriminate against you because you've been acquitted. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think that this is a good look for him to try to turn right around and sue people. Okay, Kyle Rittenhouse may have escaped a lifetime of imprisonment when a jury acquitted him of all charges in his murder trial on Friday. You know, this is a reach back story, okay? But he still faces very real possibility of civil suit from the families of Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber, former U.S. Assistant Attorney Nima, I hope I'm saying your name right, Ramani, told the Daily Caller News Foundation. Ramani, who now serves as the CEO of a Los Angeles-based law firm that specializes in wrongful death cases, said there was no question that Rosenhouse, I keep calling that baby Rosenbaum, I'm sorry, will face civil lawsuits from the families of the people he killed within a matter of months or even weeks. He likened Rosenhouse's situation to the O.J. Simpson, who was found civilly liable for the deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman in order to pay $33.5 million in damages despite being acquitted in an early criminal trial for their deaths. And I kept feeling like that, like I think they're going to sue him, but I was looking for information, and finally, after the fact, I find this. So I don't, like I said, I think I might want to try to reach out to this individual and ask them a question, that can he indeed sue people for calling him a murderer. So let's not forget the standard in a criminal case is the highest under the law. Ramani explained, in a civil case, it's a much lower standard. You don't need a unanimous jury. It's just a preponderance of the evidence, 51%, slightly more than not. That's why O.J. was acquitted on the criminal case, but was found civilly liable and had a big judgment against him. Ramani said, Rittenhouse may be happy right now, but he still may be sued by the victim's family, and he may lose that civil case. Right. From left, Karan Swart, I don't know how to say it, Joseph Rosenbaum's fiancee Susan Hughes, Anthony Huber's great aunt, and Hannah Giddings, Anthony Huber's girlfriend, listened as Kyle Rittenhouse is found not guilty at the Kenosha County Courthouse on November 19, 2021 in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Sean I don't know how to say the name. Sean, I just use the name, okay? Because I don't want to disrespect your name. I never want to disrespect anybody's name, because I get upset when people spell my name or pronounce my name wrong. Rahmani also said Rittenhouse would likely not have the privilege of facing an incompetent prosecution in a potential wrongful case lawsuit like he did during his criminal trial. They dropped the ball in so many ways, Ramani said of Rittenhouse prosecutors. I'm sure the civil attorney will be lawful and prepared and will handle the case very differently. Ramani also expressed doubt that Rittenhouse would have much luck filing a defamation lawsuit against President Joe Biden for labeling him a white supremacist in an October 2020 campaign ad, and action many right-wing commenters urged him to do. Kyle Rittenhouse's first lawsuit should be filed against the man who called him a white supremacist, Joe Biden. Okay, so you trying to sue the president, you trying to sue everybody you can. So I don't know. I don't think that because he's like, what, 18 now? No. You're talking about former President Donald Trump not denouncing white supremacists, then you show a picture of Rittenhouse. Ramhamani said in reference to Biden's ad, in my opinion, is somewhat attenuate. I don't know what that means. I should have looked it up. I can see a judge tossing it because someone needs to take a logical leap to get to the defamation. It's far from clear, in my opinion. There's no other way to put it. The President of the United States refused to disavow white supremacy on the debate stage last night. Okay, this is an older story, like I said, you guys, so don't shoot me in the behind, okay? However, Rittenhouse would have a much better shot pursuing a defamation lawsuit against media figures and politicians such as Massachusetts Democratic Rep. Anaya Presley, who labeled Rittenhouse a domestic terrorist following the Kenosha shooting, according to Haramani. A 17-year-old white supremacist domestic terrorist drove across state lines armed with an AR-15. He shot and killed 2 people who had assembled to affirm the value, dignity, and the worth of black lives. Fix your damn headlines. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, that's a much stronger case, domestic terrorism. Now, he's been acquitted. There's zero evidence that he's a terrorist, Romani said. Domestic terrorist is a very strong defamation case. White supremacist, a little more difficult because that's a much broader statement, he added. Domestic terrorist is probably the best claim, in my opinion, because I don't see any evidence to support that allegation. Content created by the Daily Caller News Foundation. Okay, so there's a poll here. How closely, if at all, do you plan on following news reports regarding further civil lawsuits against Kyle Rittenhouse as they are reported? Very closely. That's going to be me. I'm going to follow it because I want to see what happens with this guy, because I think it's absolutely bonkers that he wants to sue people for calling him out of his name. And like I said, he should have thought that whole situation through before he actually took himself out there to Kenosha and got involved in the middle of all that stuff that was going on. Had he stayed wherever he was and not gone out there, he said he went out there to protect. What is there that he had to protect? I want to know if he had a job out there. You know, yeah, we can go out there and protect, but ultimately, I don't know if you had the right to bear arms to protect your own property, or do you have the right to bear arms? I'm asking questions of the right to walk around with an AR-15 at free will, and because people don't know what you're going to do. If I see somebody that has an AR-15 and they're walking down the street, I'm running. I don't care what nobody say. I'm gone, because I don't know. My first thought is this dude is about to start shooting folk for no reason. That is only my thought. That's what I would be thinking. I'm not saying that's what he did or would do. That's what my thoughts would be. Why is he walking down here at night with a gun? I would be like, y'all, look at that. You got some people that will try to disarm him because they don't know why he's walking down the street, you know, with the gun. And some of the footage, it's unclear. I'm not 100% sure if I heard it correctly, but I think some of the footage that I heard, he was saying that he was a paramedic or something. I don't even know. I have no clue. It was just going by so fast. But whatever the case is, they can't retry him. But there's definitely something about to happen with him. And I don't see it being good for him. I don't see it working out too well for him at all whatsoever. And I have to look up the definition of domestic terrorist. I don't know, because I've heard them say that like gangbangers that are running around doing things, they call them domestic terrorists. Anybody that's causing civil unrest or anybody that's disturbing the peace, you know, period. I thought that's what it's called, but I guess I better get back into my books and read so that I could use the appropriate term. So this is my take on the Kyle Rittenhouse situation, you guys, and we're going to definitely see what happens after this, whether he's able to sue, but I hope and pray that someone actually takes what he said that he's going to use, he needs the money to pay his hefty legal fees if it's true. And if that is the case, I really pray that the judge, the jury will say, well, no, you know what, if this is what it's about, you have been acquitted. And you don't see O.J. Simpson, you don't see the guy that killed Trayvon Martin running into court talking about they're defaming my name after they've been acquitted. I can see if you never shot anyone or you never had this court situation that popped up, then I could see you wanting to sue. But I think this is something that is being created to kind of I don't know the word for it, so I'm just going to leave that word alone. But yeah, it's not looking good for Mr. Rittenhouse. So you guys don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that post notification bell. Oh yeah, before I forget, and please be careful how you report stories. Make sure that what you're saying, you're using the appropriate terms. Make sure you're not making up stories against people, because you don't want to get yourself in trouble and have him come after you. You know, like I said, just be careful, you guys, how you're reporting and what you're saying against people, okay? And if it's not true, don't get mad at a person and just start spitting all over their name. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. So, like I said, the giveaway is coming up soon. And Nick and I are both monitoring my subscriber list. And we saw the 3 people that subscribed and unsubscribed, and we have the names written down. So when the day of the giveaway come, they're going to be excluded, because that's not fair. Because if you were only signing up just to win, you're taking away an opportunity for somebody else that's faithful to win, okay? So we got your names. So if you join in the live, guess what? We know who you are. So you will be excluded, okay? Talk to you later. Have a great one. Bye.